Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Laz Jr. Do me one favor, hit that subscribe button, subscribe to my channel. Also, hit the notification bell so I can notify you when I have a new video, and hit the like button because it helps the algorithm. I would gladly appreciate it. So we're going to get into this video. Racist cops, veterans who've been cops for decades say things, and it's caught on tape. After the police chief was going through videotapes and going through information, he stumbled across it on accident, they said. Let's get into it.
As we've watched these street protests night after night and the continued uprising against systemic racism and police brutality, it's hard not to keep thinking about something that I've seen on a bunch of protest signs in many different cities. Imagine all the many terrible things that have happened that just weren't caught on camera. Particularly when we see disturbing stories like what just happened in Wilmington, North Carolina, which we only know about basically through sheer fluke, because a sergeant conducting an audit stumbled onto a video that had been accidentally recorded by a Wilmington police officer, and the police department, to its credit, told the public what they found. In the video, 3 longtime veteran Wilmington officers who've been on the job since the late 1990s, think about that, decades on the force, are heard saying some truly vile and racist things, with one of them flat out calling for a race war. This is a police officer who's been in there for decades. Quote, "We're just going to go out and start slaughtering them effing N-words. I can't wait. God, I can't wait."
Wow.
The officer adding that a civil war is needed to, quote, and I quote him here, "wipe them off the effing map. That'll put them back about 4 or 5 generations." All 3 officers have now been fired for misconduct. The city's new police chief, Donnie Williams, making the announcement yesterday.
When I first learned of these conversations, I was shocked, saddened, and disgusted. There is no place for this behavior in our agency or our city, and it will not be tolerated.
That was his first day on the job, one of his first actions as a head of police in that town. Now, there are so many ways this is disturbing, they're basically uncountable, but most striking to me is the resonance and meaning of these violent racist words in this particular place, Wilmington, North Carolina. It's a city that is in many ways a perfect representation of the trajectory of racial injustice in America. Because back in the late 1800s, after the Civil War and in Reconstruction, Wilmington was a thriving, fairly well-integrated town racially. That was thanks to the post-Civil War project of Reconstruction, which used the federal government to actively seek to integrate freemen and women as full citizens, to give them rights and more.
Yeah.
And then came what was arguably the only pure coup d'etat in U.S. history, when a white supremacist mob violently wrenched power, overthrowing the city government, killing at least 60 African Americans, slaughtering them, wrenching power back with terrorist, white supremacist, fascist violence to regain white supremacy. A key moment.
Prime example of what these people did, and people that think like them who are Caucasian, taking something. Prime example. History does not lie. People. Sorry to say it, folks. Caucasian people. Them. Him. Right here in this picture. In this video. They did it. And the people who felt a certain way in that time throughout the country that we live in, they did it. Taking something, overthrowing the government. Look at their guns. Yeah. Those cops, they shouldn't have jobs no more after that, because they said, they said these things. It's hate speech, without a doubt. It's hate speech. Kyrie Irving just posted a video, he said some things. And that's anti-Semitic. This is telling you what they did. Hatred. Let's get back into it.
A moment in the destruction of this nation's project of racial equality and reconstruction. And the system those racists built, that is a system upon which we now stand. To the point where in the year 2020, Wilmington police officers are fantasizing about a race war where they could shoot black people that would put black Americans back about 4 or 5 generations, back to what happened in that same city. And in the decades following the 1898 coup, the racist who seized power, well, they took a kind of victory lap. They erected statues, Confederate statues, to celebrate their victory, to send the message to the people they had killed and slaughtered and beaten out of power that they were in control. But last night, 2 of those statues came down on the order of city officials. We are now in a moment we are seeing things brought to light that were buried before. At least some of us are seeing things that were brought to light buried before. Many Americans have been seeing it the whole time. And in the city of Tucson, there's another new recording that will make your blood run cold. That's next.
Oh, man. What do you think about this video? Please comment. I would gladly appreciate it. Wow. Wow. Please comment. God bless.